So it seems like interest is waning a bit, isn't it?
More than a bit. Yeah, we look at Google Trends to see how many people are searching for anything with Bitcoin in the Google search engine. And going into December, it skyrocketed. It tripled in terms of total number of searches worldwide. And you saw that correlate to the increased number of wallets. Wallet growth went from 4 or 5% monthly to over 10% in December. What do you think happened? Bitcoin rallied to these highs. But since then, in January, the search volume has come way down 75%, and wallet growth has slowed as well, back down to that 4% level. So it's very much a case where you've got to hold interest in new Bitcoin owners to get Bitcoin to go up.
So wallet growth in terms of the number of accounts or the number of wallets open, correct? But that doesn't necessarily reflect the amount of money in that wallet or being put in that wallet or traded within that wallet. And have you noticed if perhaps the searches brought in from Bitcoin to Ethereum, Litecoin, some of the other Ripple, some of the other coins out there?
It has. I mean, Bitcoin has really what I call as the gateway drug to all cryptos. And it has acted exactly that way. And that is how it moves. So some of the movement in Ethereum, for example, which is traded much better, has been just money getting pulled out of Bitcoin. So it's absolutely the case. And the ratio of searches in Google roughly correlate to the market cap values of the different cryptocurrencies.
So how much of a leading indicator do you think this could be?
So far, it's been a very reliable leading indicator. It showed us the way up and it showed us the way back down.
Is it leading or coincident?
It is leading to wallet growth, which is coincident with price, which makes a ton of sense. So right now it's telling me there really isn't yet that next leg up in Bitcoin because we're not seeing that next leg up in interest that leads to wallet growth, that leads to price appreciation.
Nick, to what extent can you guys do analysis on the correlation between Bitcoin and what's going on in the overall market? So on a day like today, it doesn't surprise me to see that, we can't, and this may not be a fair assessment of Bitcoin holders, but the reality is this is not a stable group of institutional investors. So what do you surmise on the next move if this market goes lower?
Yeah, you're spot on. And I was interested to see the correlation of the pull down in Bitcoin with the futures trading in the morning. Right. And what you see is we also use Google Trends to see when people Google the stock market, because that's been a reliable indicator of volatility that day. And searches for stock market before the open today were the highest in a week. The only prior time was the close on Friday on that rip into the close. So that told me that people were worried about it. And I think that open this morning was retail investors saying, whoa, I'm probably a little bit out over my skis. Let's pull back in. Institutions didn't come in to save us. Same thing happened with Bitcoin. Pulled down at the open. People said, OK, I got to pull back risk in everything I own. And we saw the follow through. You're
not getting the sense that this is the same pool of people, though.
It's people with money, right?
Okay.
And people with money tend to put it places. Stock market, Bitcoin. It's a small fraction. There's only 22 million wallets in the world. There's many more brokerage accounts. But in terms of who can invest in anything, it's going to be the same affluent base of people.
All right, Nick, great to see you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fascinating stuff, Nick Colas.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, look, I find what's really interesting is the linchpin to this story is really getting the institutional investor on the investment, investing in these names. So the institutional investor interest, in my opinion, and what I've seen in people I'm talking to, seems to have skyrocketed, if you will. So I look at it and say all the conferences that are going on, they're drawing major institutional investors to this. You're seeing the likes of some big funds in the U.S. and across the world essentially gravitating toward these conferences, paying big bucks to get there to find out what's going on. They're the next money. They're the next leg of sort of investment that jumps in here. And I think that's when you see a massive turn.
I think when you look towards the government and regulations, you have February 6th, I think, is the date that we were talking about as far as the Senate Banking and Finance Committee that is going to start to revisit Bitcoin and regulations. And I think people are going to get out of that way until they see what type of dialogue and how it sounds and the heat coming out of these senators' mouths is going to be.
But we should note that Robinhood goes live on Thursday in terms of Bitcoin trading, right? So you can trade for free, which had been a big knock on Coinbase, right? The fees to get in and out of a trade were pretty high.
Prohibitive for some. Yeah. I just can't help think, though, that the shareholder base in the market is now overlapping a lot more with the Bitcoin holder than ever was the case. One of the things about Bitcoin wasn't correlated to anything. I can't help but think they are far more correlated now as it goes mainstream and as we have other instruments to use beside Bitcoin. And so when you have a really difficult market like we did today, stock market, I think the correlation is just going to be higher going forward.
Is everywhere.
Yes.
Yep.
But Bitcoin really lost its edge before this move, right? I mean, Bitcoin's been lost its edge for a couple weeks. And
the crypto, the whole space, I mean.
Yeah, but I think about a lot of the money that funded these Bitcoin accounts. Credit card was the easiest way to do it. And that is levered money. And that is money that gets called back in at the end of the month, or if you made some dough, that's why these responses, futures markets are more levered. There you go.